Good afternoon. Today is the 13th of July and here we are at Broadmarsh Coastal Park, which is just near Havant in Hampshire, where I've been driving a 1993 Proton 1.5 SE Aeroback on No Budget Reviews. This, however, is not No Budget Review. This is a very vague vlog, and I've got some time before driving back at the owner's house to talk about the Proton that I had, which was, you know, before this whole crazy situation with these becoming sort of beloved classics started, all the way back in 2017, about the same time that Ian Seabrook from Hubnut Channel had his, where they were just like the ultimate in cheap cars, and just banger racers wanted them and really nobody else. So I have a friend by the name of Mr. Brown who lives in Essex, and he had a friend who had one of these cars, a 1993 1.3 GLS saloon, also an MPI, which this is. And she just didn't drive anymore. She'd had the car for a long time. Her husband had bought it new in 1993, and she just thought that she needed to pay for the insurance, which kept going up because the company decided that they didn't want to look after her in that way, pay for tax, pay for servicing, MOTs and everything, and it wasn't really necessary to really do that, because she just didn't use the car. As simple as that. So I went round there and offered her, I think it was 200 quid for the car, and she took it, and I drove it back to Epsom, where I was living at the time. It was a little bit terrifying because the car just didn't feel as actually well made as this one does. This one feels a bit more solid, possibly because of the better seats and some other things in this. So I went down a motorway kind of like this, and then when I got to the first roundabout to, you know, got to the next road, I realised that the thermostat was a bit broken, and just cut out, so I had to restart it there, and it just wasn't running particularly well. I changed the air filter on it. It was like £3 for the air filter. Didn't seem to make any difference or anything, so probably something more fundamental than they're doing. The car was actually rusty, but in very strange places, not just sort of underneath or anything like that, but for some reason the roof, where the lacquer had peeled off, and the bonnet, the lacquer had peeled off that as well, and it was going rusty there. Underneath was fine. So yeah, 44,000 mile example, 1.3 MPI GLS saloon, and yes, we were going to take it down to Central Pod and try some, you know, rag racing with it, but it didn't happen in the end because we got the dates mixed up, and eventually we didn't do that. So it was like an extra car. A friend of mine borrowed it for a while because she needed the car, and yeah, with power steering like this one has as well. They're very light to drive. They're not a problem really, but I didn't really need it. I bought it for £200, sort of 300. I had some work done on it. I had the bonnet painted. It was actually painted black because that's what the chap I met had, rather than matching the dark blue colour. I do have a photograph of the car, which we can see in the thumbnail, and it was interesting. One thing you just don't want to do in one of these cars is have an accident. You just don't want to have an accident in one of these, because you're not going to come off very well. The doors are really, really thin, and it just doesn't really bear thinking about, to be honest. The handling of this is better than the one that I had. Maybe it's got fatter tyres on it, this one, but the one I had, leaning in the corners was crazy, like a listing ship, you know, that sort of thing. This one seems a lot better. So yes, it just gave me a real kind of feeling. This is in the pre-YouTube days of that I wanted to drive some like weird stuff. I've always been into weird stuff. Some of you maybe don't understand the appeal of this old weird stuff from Malaysia and Korea, but I've had, you know, several old Hyundais on the channel. I've had one of these Protons before, and I quite like driving around stuff like this. I just find it very interesting. A lot of the time the engineering is fundamentally quite good, even if, you know, bits fall off the brake and all this sort of thing. But yeah, see, the fact that now people actually appreciate these a bit more than they did 5 years ago, and that people are using these on a daily basis as, you know, modern classics. And the engines are, in the older Hyundais and in the Protons, they're all Mitsubishi units, generally Orion units and Sirius units, and they're very reliable if you change the cam lights to look after them. They just have some minor problem with the thermostat, but this one's been fine. I don't drive it too fast. It's got a 3-speed auto. It's a bit noisy on the motorway, especially if it's got a motorcycle exhaust tip on it, and that doesn't make it the quietest. But I just love stuff like this. I mean, if you have you know, quite a, you know, a lot of cars I do drive from all kinds of areas and types, but particularly if it's an unusual thing like this, or like an old Volvo or something, I like those. So for 4470, 480, still trying to get hold of one of those. I might have a 480 to do, but kind of want to do all those 340, 360, just anything kind of like that. It doesn't have to be from those manufacturers, it could be from something else. Then please do send me an email. My email address would have come on screen right at the beginning of the video. That's, you know, the way that I get most of the cars that I'm offered. People send me emails and say they've got a car. This one, which is just in Portsmouth, was very local to where I live. It's not too far away, and that's another reason why I've had a go in this, and very happy that I've been offered it. And this morning I also drove an old Hyundai Pony, which again, a car I've been trying to get hold of for a while, and I've finally managed to do so. So I'm very grateful to Martinho, who owns that, letting me have a go at his too. Anyway, I think that's quite enough of that. And just to say that if you're on the Seat Toledo membership tier and above, and you do get to see these videos pretty much the day that they are recorded, or soon thereafter. If you are just watching this normally on the channel, then that's absolutely fine. Please don't feel under your obligation to have a channel membership or anything like that, but it's not really the way it goes. Then yeah, you can see this about a month after it's recorded. It's not a problem. Anyway, thank you so much indeed once again for watching this very, very vague and not particularly interesting vlog. Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already done so. Like this video, leave a comment below. Subscribing and actually watching the videos all the way through makes a huge difference. And I will see you again very soon for more vague rambling.